friends, and welcome to this week's episode of the In Between Podcast with Paige Allen. Each week, I sit down either by myself or with a friend to talk about the things that make us smile. It's our hope that this podcast will cause you to laugh, learn, and discover joy in your in-between. I'm so excited because Leslie's back this week, and we are dishing out all of our favorite things for the spring. We're talking about what we're watching, what we're reading, our favorite fashion finds, even our spring go-to recipes, just all of the ways that we are loving the spring, and hopefully a few things you'll love too. All right, here's Leslie and I talking about spring favorite things. Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of The In-Between. Look who's back.
Yeah, I'm back.
So I've convinced Leslie to come back once every season, every 3 months, just so we can do our favorite things. Because I know they love our favorite things, Les.
They do.
They do.
So many good ideas and things that we love, and other people learn to love them. So it's a good thing.
It is a good thing. So we're going to jump right in. We're going to do 10 different favorite things today. And these are things that we're loving for the spring. So this is coming out the first week of May. So we've already had a couple months of spring, but there's still more to go. So we're going to share what we're loving. And we're going to start with, what is the favorite thing that you're watching? Anything that you love that you're watching right now?
It's kind of crazy because I don't feel like I have a show right now.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like some shows have ended, some things. I find myself reading a lot more than watching. But if I had to pick something, which of course I did, I would say I find myself watching pretty much any HGTV, like House Hunters and things like that. I mean, it's one of those things I can turn on, put in the background, and it's always, you can just kind of pop in every now and then. Oh, they chose house number 3, or thing over there. But so anyway, it's just an easy, light. I mean, I don't really even have anything on Netflix. I'm just kind of not super into a show right now. So,
well, that's okay.
I always love a good episode of House Hunters, or Island Life, or trying to like pick their top island to buy. It's all a little ridiculous at that point, but even the tiny house hunters, I just am like, you people are crazy, but okay, that's a good choice for you, whatever. So House Hunters, HGTV.
You can never go wrong with HGTV.
It's always going to be,
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've just gotten sucked into something. I haven't watched anything really in a while, but I do have 2 things to talk about today. The first one, Josh and we started watching The People versus O.J. Simpson on Netflix.
Yeah.
And we're really into it. It's only 10 episodes, and it'll be the whole thing. And we're halfway through. We watched episode 5 last night. But I remember, like, when the O.J. Simpson trial was going on, and I kind of paid attention, but not that much. So we keep, as we watch it, we're looking on our phones to be like, did that really happen? Like, yeah.
Is it weird that I remember where I was the day of the O.J. verdict?
No. We were talking about earlier, we remember where we were during the Bronco chase.
Yeah, now I remember I was at the Evans Junior High school cafeteria.
Oh.
And they had it on TV. Like they rolled in the cart with the TV, remember the TV AV cart? They rolled it in and plugged it in the cafeteria, because it was like, they're going to announce the verdict. I think the cafeteria ladies were real into it. And so they're like, this is a teachable moment. So it was or 8th grade, I guess 7th grade, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Evans cafeteria.
Okay. Wow.
On the hot lunch line, waiting for the OJ verdict.
Wow. I don't remember where I was. But
that's I have a very vivid memory.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. So I'm going to talk about one more show I like. And it's another one of those, I think either you will love it or you'll just, and it's called Call the Midwife. Have you ever watched Call the Midwife?
I've heard of it, but no.
No. So I love British shows, but it is so heartwarming. Although the other day I was watching an episode and Josh came in, and he did come in during a birthing scene, and he was like, oh my God, what are you watching? So
graphic? I mean.
No, they're midwives, so you don't, but there's like a baby with stuff on it, so, but it's really not a lot of that. Usually there's like one birth out of an hour-long episode, and it's more about the midwives, and they live with all these nuns, and so it's good. You should check it out.
Check it out.
Okay, all right.
Call the midwife.
Call the midwife.
Yeah.
Call the midwife, O.J. Simpson. You can tell I have a very wide variety of things.
I saw a couple episodes of the O.J. Simpson, like when it came on TV.
Uh-huh.
And I just didn't either get into it or got busy and didn't finish. I don't remember. But yeah, I would like to go back and watch that one.
Okay. Yeah. It is fascinating. It's really good. And I think that actors do a really good job of like portraying the people.
Yes, I felt that way. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you said you're reading a lot right now. What are you reading? What are you loving?
What I'm reading right now is this You Are Free by Rebecca Lyle. I just started it. I'm like 4 or 5 chapters in, but I'm really liking it. I read Nothing to Prove. I know everybody was all excited about Nothing to Prove. It was good. It wasn't like, when you read things, sometimes it's like totally speaks to you, and then others are like, that's not really the season I'm in or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm really loving You Are Free.
Okay.
I also finished a book called Let's All Be Brave, and I really enjoyed it. It's by Annie F. Downs, who I'm just like super loving right now, loving her podcast, loving her books. It was an easy read. I think I read it in like one weekend, but I just felt really inspired when it was done. I mean, like, let's be brave. Let's do the brave things. So anyway, I would recommend those 2 things that I've read recently that I'm really enjoying.
All right. Well, I will check those both out. I already have Let's All Be Brave. So it's at the top of my to be read list.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have 3 things. I just finished a novel called Beautiful Ruins by Jess Walter. It was kind of on the bestsellers list like last summer. I actually chose it because it's in Italy. I'm about to go to Italy. And so I just kind of felt like I wanted to get in that. And I liked it. I didn't love it. I'm not quite sure why it was on the bestsellers list, but it was good. It was a good, interesting story. I'm reading The Broken Way. Can't see it with all my light here, by Ann Voskamp. There we go. And
excuse me.
Ann Voskamp, I really like her. Sometimes the way she writes, I have to read it slowly.
Yeah.
And sometimes she's a little bit too dramatic in her word choices, but the content of this book has been really good. And it's probably because of, like you said, there's seasons of life where you're in. And I think the last 2 or 3 months have been a little bit of grief, a little bit of a lot of friends going through hard things. And the whole point of the book is we're all going to go through brokenness, but that's even the way of Jesus. I mean, the resurrection came after death, and so the content of the book I'm really loving, and it's speaking to me. And then I'm actually reading on my Kindle The Magnolia Story by Chip and Joanna Gaines.
Oh yeah, I still haven't read that, but I would like to. I wasn't too excited. I found it for it was on sale for $1.99 on Kindle, and I thought, I'll just get it. And I'm really enjoying it. I like their show, but I really like them as people. And they just really do a good job of telling their story. You kind of realize, they're super down to earth. They talk about, they almost lost everything financially in the building industry, and just how they've come through that. And so it's one of those, you could read it in a weekend. Super easy to read, but it's a fun read too. So yeah, good. Fun.
Yeah, so let's talk about, so we talked about watching, reading. What about listening? Anything you're listening to right now?
I know I'm like the music person, and I should have some music, and I honestly don't. I am all about the podcasts lately.
Okay. Yes.
I love, especially if I'm driving, I love to turn on a good podcast. It just kind of helps pass the time. And I'm also walking the dogs all the time.
Yeah.
So it just helps to have something in my ear. So there's a couple podcasts. there's some that I like to listen to all of them, but then there's a couple of specific episodes lately. One is, I wrote it down because I'm not going to remember. There's a podcast called Magic Lessons.
Yes.
With Elizabeth Gilbert, I think her name is.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't listened to any other ones, but this one episode. But literally, like, I got my journal and I took like 4 pages of notes. It's episode 12 of the first season, and she's interviewing Brene Brown, who I love as an author. I've read several of her books, and she's just super insightful. But it was, again, the season of life I'm in, I guess it was just really speaking to me. It was like I had to pause and write. I could not get the notes written down fast enough. And I have gone back through those several times. It's a phenomenal episode. It's just super encouraging for creative people or just anybody. I mean, I think you could apply it to anything, really. So that was a good one. And then another, Annie F. Downs. I love her podcast. I listen to it every week. But she was actually the guest on a podcast called A Greater Story with Sam Collier. Did you happen to listen to that?
I haven't yet. You told me about it, and I have downloaded it, but I haven't had the time to listen to it yet.
The main topic is about women in ministry. And it's so interesting. I know this is kind of like a hot topic in the church and kind of comes in waves and things. It was interesting to hear her perspective, to hear the questions he asked her. And I think her main point was just like, this is something, whether we're all on the same page or not, it's something we have to be talking about. And so it was good to hear her perspective, other perspectives that maybe some people have brought up that she didn't agree with, but that was okay. Like, it needs to be a conversation that people are having. As someone who is a woman who used to be in ministry, who, foresees possibly ministry roles in the future in different ways, I'm not really sure, but it was just really fascinating. And I loved it. And she got really vulnerable about just some things she's walked through with that. And one thing that she said, I'm not going to give it all away, but that I loved, but she said, yes, churches need a father heart. They also need a mother heart. And it was just this idea of the church she goes to here in Nashville, their pastor stepped down. It was a little bit of it was a very sudden thing. I know it really rocked that church. It's affected so many people in different ways. And she said, we've had a father's voice, a father's heart through this time, but she said, we have desperately needed a mother's heart. And we just haven't had that in a way. So anyway, I just thought that was so, just really interesting viewpoint. So anyway, that's what I've been listening to. Just a lot of podcasts. There is, some good music out there, but I'm really more like nerding it up in the podcast realm. So what about you?
I'm eager to listen to that. I really am. I have it on downloaded. I'm going to listen to it soon. I have big feelings about that topic of women in ministry. And I like the way she said that. I agree. There are times where, you need a mother's heart. And sometimes the female perspective on things brings a really just complete picture to things sometimes. So
God is encompassing of all that. God is not just a father, He encompasses.
We were made in His image, male and female. Therefore, He has femininity in His image.
The human expression of that we relate to as male and female, but so many times in the church, women are not given a voice or not given a place. And so it's a good podcast. I would highly encourage people. So even if you're not a woman in ministry, it was just good. It was good. So good conversation.
Okay, good. I will have a link to it in the blog too, so people can find it. I've been listening to Elevation Worship's latest album. What do you call it now? Really not CDs anymore. I don't know. They're music. And I've enjoyed it. But like you, I'm enjoying podcasts a lot right now. Couple of just general podcasts that I listen to, and I'll preface it to say I actually don't love all of their episodes.
Right. But
both of these have been around for years, so you can kind of look through and be like, oh, I think I would like this one. Yeah. The first one is called the Sorta Awesome podcast. It's by a girl named Megan Teets, and then she has 3 different co-hosts that kind of rotate. Yeah. And but a few of hers I've really enjoyed. And then The Simple Show, which is the lady's name is Tish Oxenrider. And I just like her. Right now she's about to put out a book about a memoir of her and her family traveling around the world and living around the world for 9 months. And I'm really intrigued by that because I love to travel with my family. So, but she doesn't just talk about travel. She's, especially if you are interested in any kind of like bringing simplicity to your life in your home and parenting. It's a good one. So
another one I like, and I meant to say was the Story Brand podcast that Don does. I think it's fascinating. He talks to a lot of it's business, but it's just life. It's just some of it's ministry related, some of it's business related, but he talks to really fascinating people. And as an author and as a speaker, I think he's got a lot of great insight into things. So anyway, that's another good one that's
okay.
So yeah.
That's good. So spring is here. Do you have any great fashion finds?
Okay, so spring, yes, it's warming up, but it's still nice weather. So I'm wearing like my uniform.
Okay.
Let me just explain.
Yes.
The Target V-neck t-shirt. I have about 17 of them in multiple colors. But anyway, I just love a good lightweight tee, and then I like to layer something.
Yes.
This is just a vest. I actually ordered it off of Amazon. Because when you need a black vest and you can't find one, you just go to Amazon. But probably my most favorite fashion find for spring, I was like on the hunt. I mean, I went in like 4 TJ Maxx stores here, like just trying to find some good, like slide on sandals, just something simple. Yeah. And one day, Molly Kate and I were leaving a store and it just started pouring rain. I mean, like out of nowhere, downpour. And we were parked. For some reason, we walked way down to the other store. We were parked on the other side of the parking lot. So we were running, and there's an Old Navy. And we were like, get out of the rain. So we run into this Old Navy, and I found the shoes I'd been looking for. So,
perfect.
Little flat. So I got them in gold, too, because they had them in different colors.
Awesome.
I'm wearing these all the time. But, yes, they're they're actually quite comfortable. Kind of feel like a flip-flop, but a little nicer and like
I may have to go check out Old Navy.
When I bought them, they were like, I never go to Old Navy. I just never think to. And they were like 40%. I think they were like $11. I mean, super cheap. But anyway.
I love it. That is so good.
That's my favorite.
So I've decided, and I don't know. Right now, this is a plan in my head. I'm going to see if this becomes more of a reality. I have decided that I'm going to wear more skirts and dresses. Particularly, I like the midi length, like a little bit past like the knee. So I ventured out. I wore this on Sunday. This cute skirt with the denim shirt. And then I just bought this new skirt.
Oh, I like it. Okay.
Like it, all the colorful stuff. And maybe it's even more for as it gets summer. I just remember last year being really hot. Yes. And I just feel like skirts are a little bit cooler. Yeah. I like, too, the style now of just throwing on a T-shirt with a skirt. So it looks a little bit dressier, but it's not a lot of effort. So.
Yeah, I agree. I remember when we moved here. Well, summer's just hot. We moved here in August, and Nashville is way humid. I was used to dry heat, and it was like a whole new level of I can't cool off. Like I was just so hot, and so I bought a couple of just lightweight dresses, like like you're talking about. I lived in those things. I mean, it was just like because I'm not a big shorts person. You can all thank me for that, but but a nice, little longer dress. It was perfect for the climate. So yeah, I'll definitely be pulling those out once the legs have seen a little more sun.
Yes.
Just enjoy that. So yeah.
Well, good. I like it. Yeah. Okay, it is getting warmer. So I threw this out there at you. I threw out there, tell me your favorite outdoor activity right now. I don't know if you have anything that you're enjoying outside.
It's so crazy. I was telling Alan the other day, it's so nice here. I can't quite explain what joy it brings me to not live in the West Texas wind anymore. I can't quite put it into words.
I nod as my eyes are reaping the benefits of the wind.
I knew I hated those days in Lubbock when the wind would blow and the sky would turn brown. Everybody hates that, obviously. But like there was like a deep soul crushing thing that it did to me.
Uh-huh.
And so the wind does blow here occasionally, and it's kind of scary because there's huge trees, and you're like, is that going to hit my house? But those trees and hills and things block all the dirt from being tossed around. So it's a different, and we don't have those days often. Okay. So all that to say, I love being outside. I mean, the weather here is just been gorgeous. And so I have gone hiking a few times. I've found some really cool kind of hiking areas. This one really beautiful spot, you just kind of take this trail all the way around the lake. It's just beautiful. And so I'm growing up in West Texas. It has a beauty all its own for sure. Yeah. But I am loving the trees, the green, things are blooming and just the most beautiful trees everywhere. And so I love being outside. I walk my dogs every single day. I love to take the dogs on a pretty good walk through our neighborhood just because the weather's great. Something about being outside, I sit on my back porch and read every day just because I can. Like it's beautiful and my hair's not blowing in my face and dirt in my lips. So I'm loving being outside, whether that's just walking or hiking or just sitting and reading. So I'm all about it because there's no dirt blowing around. It's glorious. Love it.
I'm a little bit envious. I'm not going to lie. Yeah. It's actually a lovely day today here in West Texas, which is great. I put on when we did the in between 38 things, one of my things was that I really wanted to take more advantage of being outdoors this year. And so it's really not an activity, but like you, as long as it's not blowing horribly, I'm really enjoying just sitting outside and reading or walking. I used to run a lot, but my feet are not letting me do that. So, but for a while I was kind of sad. I thought, I'm going to miss this thing, but I'm finding that walking outdoors is still just as refreshing and it's just nice to be outside.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah. So one thing that I've also been doing outside is planting. I'm into, I don't know how I became a plant lady, but working on planting flowers in my pots. When we bought our house 2 years ago, it came with 25 terracotta pots in our backyard, like huge ones. And so I called my friend who knows about plants, and she came and has been teaching me things. So I am loving planting and gardening right now. Awesome. And so I asked you if you have a favorite plant. I'll tell you mine real quick right now. It's not exotic or anything, but I love geraniums because it's really hard to kill them. And they'll go from spring through the summer until early fall. So right now I've got red and purple and like a coral color. So I'm all about the geraniums right now.
That's awesome. I've got the thing with the indoor plants. I'm having to learn outdoor stuff because it's totally different here.
Right.
So what limited knowledge I had about outdoor stuff no longer applies. It's like, why is our yard not whatever? And they're like, you have to do that in the fall. Not here. And I was like, that would have been helpful in October.
Right.
Not in October. So anyway, we're kind of like playing catch up with our outdoor stuff. But for me, it's all about the indoor plants. I have kind of gone a little indoor plant crazy.
Really?
I just love, you see the plant behind me there. But it's a $6 ivy from wherever. Yeah. So, but you buy a cute little pot at TJ Maxx and stick it in there. And so I have plants everywhere. And what I'm what I'm enjoying is, because I used to have this thing, like, I went from like no plants, and then I bought a few real ones. And then they're making some good, like, fake stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes the fake stuff is like, that looks really fake. But there is some really good stuff out there. So I'm kind of mixing a little bit in certain places. So I found some good, which is nice to put something like in the guest room that I forget to go in all the time and water. You know, like, stick the fake cool magnolia branch thing in there. So anyway, yeah, I'm all about the indoor plants. I love a good succulent. I know I've talked about the succulents a lot. And I'm for cactus right now. But yeah, so I'm learning about the outdoor stuff because they're different here.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, love all the indoor stuff.
That's good.
Yeah.
There's something about, I've read before, like if you put something, you can see I'm a plant lady. Where's Leah? If you put something alive in a room, it literally, because what is it emanating? I guess oxygen. Yeah, like it's healthy for you even. So yeah.
I started out with one of the fiddle leaf. I never know the right word for it.
Fig leaf
tree. Yeah, fig leaf ferns. And when I first moved here, we got one of those and put it in the kitchen. And it just made me so happy. Every time I saw it, I was like, oh, it's so fun. So then it was like, oh, let's find a little plant for this room. And I mean, I'm in my living room right now, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 live plants.
Wow.
You know, a couple of fake stuff. And I mean, some of them are real small, just a little, you know, succulent and a thing. But it's just, I love it. So
it's so good. And I think spring is a great time to add that. If you don't already have a few live plants, spring is a great time because there's a lot out there. You go to any kind of nursery and they're going to be a better price.
Yeah, you don't have to spend a ton on that kind of stuff. So for sure.
Okay, you are the cook in our family, and so do you have any go-to recipes for springtime?
For me, it is, again, all about being outside and everything on the grill. I know a lot of people in their families, their husband is the grill master. That is not the case here. It's more because I'm a control freak. Like, I run the grill. I bought a big flat top griddle that goes outside when we moved here. So I love to be cooking on the grill. I mean, just a simple chicken breast on the grill is like phenomenal. I love to try things like veggies on the grill. Probably one of my favorites, if you want something specific, is corn on the cob. Fresh corn on the cob. You shuck it, you roll it up in some foil with butter, salt, and pepper, and then I always put that on the grill first, even as it's heating, while everything else is cooked. Just kind of put it on that top rack, turn it every now and then, and it's good like that. Or actually, I think I got the recipe out of Bread and Wine, Shauna Niequist's book, but she makes this great like grilled Mexican street corn. So once it's been in that foil for a while, you can actually take it out of the foil and then stick it on the grill to get it a little bit charred. Just cut it off the cob, mix it with some mayonnaise, some cayenne pepper, some cilantro, some lime juice, and then sprinkle some like feta or that cotija cheese on it. It's amazing. And if you don't want to make it, just go to Torchy's Taco. Really good grilled Mexican corn. But you can make it at home, and it's super simple. But yeah, that's probably, I mean, anything you can put on the grill.
Yes.
Fruit on the grill. I mean, I will do anything on the grill. Like, I just, again, because I love being outside and the weather's nice and we can eat outside. But yeah, I was so afraid of the grill for a long time. Like, I didn't know how long to cook things or how, you know, and I didn't want to serve people raw chicken, all that kind of stuff. But the more I started doing it, the more I've learned, and I love it. So,
man, my mouth is watering. I'm thinking I may need to go to Torchy's for lunch after this and get me some street corn. Yeah. So I'm not the cook like you are. I agree. Spring is a great time to start grilling. Right now, though, I am absolutely I'm not going to say addicted, but my go-to right now is like avocado toast with some cracked red pepper. Like, I will eat it for breakfast. I will eat it for lunch, for a snack, you know, like, I just love it. Just some toast,
What all do you put on yours?
I just toast. I just do some avocado. I do some sea salt, and then just cracked red pepper is all I do. Occasionally, I'll mash up my avocado and even just pour some out of the jar salsa to mix it to make it a little spicier. Yeah.
The next time, do a tiny squeeze of lemon.
Okay.
And drizzle some olive oil. Try that.
Right.
Throw that out there.
Throwing it out there. That was for free.
Yeah. There's a restaurant here called First Watch.
Uh-huh.
And it was actually one time when Mom was here visiting, and she ordered the avocado toast, and it was like life-changing. We were like, what in the world? So I made it my mission to duplicate the First Watch avocado toast. So yeah.
Hey.
I'm all about it.
Well, I'm gonna try it. I might even do it today.
A tiny bit of lemon, not too much. It can overpower, but yeah. Lemon, salt, oil, done.
Some avocado toast and some Mexican street corn right now. We're just like, it's a spot.
That is lunch right there.
Lunch. We're doing it. Okay, 3 more things.
Okay.
Any ways that you're trying to brighten your life during the spring? The spring makes me want to add color and lightness to my life.
Okay. I am not obviously.
That's true. Look at me. Look at my earrings.
I went and bought this blazer the other day it's like a floral print.
Yes.
And I was going to wear it. Our anniversary was Sunday. And I was like, put it on, getting ready for our anniversary day. And everyone in my house was like, what are you wearing? What have you just put on? And I was like, let me just take this off, put on the black blazer. So yeah, I frightened at least the people I live with. Maybe they just weren't used to it. So I'm going to ease into the florals. And this is going to sound kind of cheesy.
Okay.
When you put that, how are you brightening your life? The first thing that came to my mind, because this is something that has not come natural to me, but I have really worked on it since I moved here. I am incorporating friendship and connection with people. Mm-hmm. Like I have really just decided since we moved here, it's one of those life lessons that you learn like when you first get married and you realize nobody else is going to do the laundry. It's up to you.
Yes.
I have to clean this house. No one else is coming to do it. One of those kind of things. It was like, okay, if I want to have some friends here, it's up to me. Like I can sit around all day and go, man, I sure wish that person would call me. Mm-hmm. Boy, I sure would be a fun lunch date today. Or they're really missing out by not asking me to coffee. I mean, which I have lived a lot of my life, I'm just going to be honest, just waiting for other people to reach out to me. Mm-hmm. And I have just really made it a point to connect with people in lots of different ways. And I am loving it. Like it is making my life just happy. And it's not every connection is the one. I mean,
right.
A hot yoga class with a girl. And let me just say, I was trying to be a good friend, you know, it was one of those things. It was like, you know, she was new to town and I was trying to kind of reach out to her and she had an event she was trying to look good for. And so I went to hot yoga. Anyway, to say.
That is awesome.
Just
Leslie Rich at hot yoga. Yes. Okay.
35 degrees in that room. And it was,
wow.
It was a lot of stuff going on there. But all that to say, I mean, that was obviously not like, man, I'm really clicking with this hot yoga class, but there are other ways that I am really clicking. And and she's a sweet girl. And like, you know, we're going to hang out some more. I decided we're going to have an Easter brunch at an egg hunt here at our house. And we've invited a bunch of people, you know, and I'm like, I don't know if anybody's going to come, but surely there are other people out there like me who need connection and who need friends.
Yes.
So I am brightening my life. I'm making friendships. I'm working at it. I'm actually like putting in the effort. So I feel like all those years of my mother saying, to have a friend, you must be a friend. Like all those things are coming back and I'm actually putting them into practice. And went to an event last night, invited a couple girls from church. And so it's just kind of these random connections, but it just is bringing a lot of joy into my life. So don't be afraid to call somebody and be like, hey, let's go to coffee. Even if you have nothing in common.
Right.
You can laugh at yourselves at hot yoga or whatever like, situation may be. So
I love it. That is so good. That's one of the best ways to brighten your life. Add some friendship.
People, yeah.
So you made me think of something that I wasn't going to say. I was going to say that I'm brightening my life by adding colorful pillows. But I'm going to say something a little more meaningful because you were meaningful. So I have been really challenging myself to just do small, encouraging acts. I think I said this on a previous podcast. And what that looks like for me is not procrastinating, because I'm the kind of person, I think of great, encouraging things all the time. And then if I'll do that later, and later never happens, you know? And so even this week, like, I felt led to go, I was like, I'm going to go give this person a gift card because they just worked really hard. I sent someone dinner one night. I sent a text to another friend, and they always say it's better to give than to receive. But it's so true. It's absolutely true. And I've just realized being busy is not an excuse for just showing love. And with all those things, I have zero agenda. Like, I just felt like, you know what? They need to be blessed because X, Y, and Z. And so what I'm finding is it's bringing joy to my life just by doing that. And I think the reason in the past I've always procrastinated is I thought, oh, that's going to take so long, you know, and it doesn't.
Well, and for me, I think I've put things off. I think it's going to be so hard.
Yeah.
It's going to be so hard to call that person. It is going to be so hard to find time on our schedule. It's going to be so hard if they tell me no.
Right.
You know, or those different things. But like one night last week, my husband was out of town, and it was a beautiful night, and I texted my two neighbors, and I said, hey, does anybody want to join me on the back porch? You know, and just said, and they were both like, we're on our way, you know. It was that super simple, and they were both like, thank you so much for inviting us, for texting, like this, we should do this more often, you know. And it made me realize there are other people that are looking for that. And it wasn't hard. And if they had said, oh, shoot, I can't, I'm gone. Or, I mean, that's okay.
Right.
It's not a rejection of me. It's a, you know, or we've invited people to our Easter brunch. Some of them already have plans. Like, I know that has nothing to do with me. Or some people may just not want to come. That's okay. Like, it's okay. It's not going to keep me from not doing the things. So yeah, we think it's going to take so much time, or we think it's going to be so hard. It's really not. It's like a simple thing, but it brings so much joy to life.
It does. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So the month of May on the in-between, I'm going to focus a little bit talking about kids, parenting. I'm excited. I have some really good, I've got 2 specific interviews that I'm excited about to share with y'all. So I wanted to ask you, leading up into that, any great parenting resources that you're loving?
Again, I don't want to sound like super spiritual, but I was racking my brain trying to think of something. And for me lately, the greatest resource has just been the Holy Spirit. Because it probably hit me like in February. All of a sudden I had this realization. Our oldest is 16. She's a junior. She's going to be going to college in like a year and a half.
Yeah.
And it sent me in this little bit of a panic. Like, oh, have we done all the things? Have we taught her all the things? Have we equipped her with everything she needs? You know, and it was like, we only have a year and a half to do this. And I got real like anxious about it. I ordered books, you know, from different things like, and I felt like God just said, slow down, you know, you're not going to cram in 18 years worth of whatever into a year and a half. First of all, you know, that's already been happening. And second of all, as I was reading one of those books, I found myself going, well, that's a great tip, but that wouldn't work with this kid. Or that's a great idea, but this child is geared so differently. Like, I've discovered there's not a one size fits all. And God loves my kids even more than I do. And he has a plan for them, and he has a parenting plan for me with them. And so instead of being stressed about am I checking off this list of equipping them with the things they need? It's really just more like a praying and an asking, like, Holy Spirit, can you please help me and equip me today? What can I do today? What conversation do I need to have today? Not only for today, but that might have lasting impact. And so I know that sounds like super spiritual or whatever. That's honestly, that's just where we're at, because each kid is different. Each situation is different. They respond so uniquely to different things. And so for me, there's no one way to discipline. There's no one thing that works. I mean, it's so different for each kid. So the help of the Holy Spirit is really my best resource for parenting.
Yeah. That's good. I like that. Yeah. I don't have a tangible resource either. I've just found recently that that it's okay to ask people that have gone before you their advice. Lately, a lady that works with me, my assistant Dawn, I had a great conversation with her the other day about, I'm trying to figure out this thing I'm doing with Haven. Is this just her age? Is this, and what I found, there are some people that will give you unwanted advice, but a lot of people, Dawn was so great, even like what you were just saying, she just said, every kid is so different. And she kind of just started talking about her life and how one kid would be different. And what I found is what she did was she just affirmed that I could hear the Holy Spirit. She gave me a couple of practical things that actually really did work, that she'd seen work in her children's life. But mostly it was just like, you're doing good. You're doing okay, And so I've just been more mindful. I thought, anytime someone asks me for advice in an area, I feel so honored. And I think that's one way we can honor people sometimes, is just to say, hey, especially if it's someone that's gone before us and has done a good job. Nobody's kids are perfect.
Right.
But what did you find? So just kind of looking around and saying, wow, there's people around me that have some good things to say. Yeah.
I love what you said about if someone does ask you, I think it's so important that we affirm them.
Yeah.
Where they're at, and not just go, well, here's how I would do it, or here's my 3-step plan, but take the time, because that person's probably really struggling or feeling like, I need an answer and I don't have an answer. But they need to know, especially in parenting, they need to know that they're doing a good job. Mm-hmm. They need to know that it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
They are equipped for this, that God put that child with them on purpose. I know for me, I need that confirmation all the time with my kids. Like, hey, none of this has taken God by surprise. So it's okay. Like, you're doing a good job. You're doing a good job. So anyway, I just feel like that's for somebody today. Like, especially if somebody reaches out to you, like, tell them they're doing a good job, because that may be the only thing they really need to hear, is that, sometimes your kid's just a brat. Like, that's what they all are. But that doesn't make you a bad mom. Like,
exactly. Yes. Yeah.
So
and I think that's what, that I've kind of walked away with, is sometimes books are great and resources are helpful. Sometimes you just need someone else that's been in the trenches and it's like, I don't know, but you're doing great. Just keep going for it. So
I have a good friend here. She actually does my hair, and we go to church together and are in small group together. And she has 3 girls, and she's so funny because she is one of those people who will ask. She's like, you have 3 girls. Oh my gosh, you have an older child. How do you do this? What do you do with this? My mom came one time and she cut my mom's hair, and she was like, you have 3 girls. Tell me everything. It's funny because she's from a family. She has 2 sisters. And she's had 3 girls. So our lives are very similar. But she is all about like, tell me what you know. Tell me what works. And I love that about her, because so many times we're like, oh, nobody else has this problem. Nobody else understands. And that is so far from the truth. like ask for help. Ask people, because, somebody who's dealt with a bedwetter or a biter or a hitter or those little things that you feel like you're all alone in. So
that's so good. I agree. Okay, last question. What have you learned? What's the best lesson you've learned in this spring season?
So many lessons. Probably the one that has really stuck with me or that I'm still just kind of chewing on a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Our pastor preached a message. She actually shared it at like a teen night, which is a smaller crowd, and then she spoke on it again. And then one day I was just reading, and the verse popped up again. But it's in James 1. I'm just going to read a little bit, so you'll see where this comes from. But James 1, starting in verse 2, it says, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work, so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything." And that phrase, "let perseverance finish its work," that is what God is like repeating over and over and over to me. I don't like being uncomfortable. I don't like the hard things. I don't like the hard times. I want to just like get through that as fast as I can. And I feel like I've had some areas of lack in my life because I didn't let perseverance mature me and complete its work. And I kind of shortchanged the whole process because it was like, we're just going to go around this. But I think what God is teaching me is that there is so much purpose sometimes. And I love that, this podcast is about the in-between. Mm-hmm. But there is purpose in those in-between seasons. Let perseverance finish its work. Mm-hmm. And so that's what I'm learning, and that's where I'm at. And I think it's going to serve me well in whatever's to come, and just where I'm at right now. Like, it's okay to wait. It's okay to work through some things. It's okay to let those trials and those things build some things in you. Like, don't try to always look for the easy way out, because chances are you're going to have to deal with it down the road if you don't deal with it now. So that's what I'm learning, and that's what I want to encourage everybody. Just let perseverance finish its work in your life. So
that's good. That's really good. My lesson is a little similar. My lesson is that, trying to think how to phrase it. Maybe just that there's purpose in the breaking. And what I mean by that is there are different seasons and times in life that things are not going to go as planned, where you feel kind of broken, where you feel like a situation is broken. But that we have two responses, even just like what you just said. You can just immediately try to move past that, ignore it, stuff it, whatever, or you can really embrace that breaking process. Mm-hmm. Years ago, I read this book, and there was this little story at the beginning about like a parable of these Jewish boys learning from their scholars, and they went to their teacher and they said, "Teacher, why does the Jewish writing say to put the word on our heart? Why does it say to put the word in our heart?" And he said, you can't force anything in your heart, but if you'll be faithful to put it on your heart, when your heart breaks, it's what will seep in.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that good? So really it's that is more about being faithful in the day to day, because you're going to need it down the road. But God's really just been teaching me that in those seasons of breaking, that really is, if you think back on your life, like the things that you know, those things got into your heart in a season when your heart was somewhat broken. And so therefore your heart was more receptive to receive it. And God's just been kind of challenging me that too often, because I don't like brokenness, I don't like that uncomfortableness, I don't let him fully mature, put everything in my heart in that season. So I'm kind of in that place of just realizing you don't have to rush it. Brokenness isn't bad, brokenness is a time that you are just a lot more vulnerable and a lot more receptive. And that's actually a really good thing if you're receptive to the Lord. And that as those things seep in, they will grow roots. And there's always something beautiful on the other side of brokenness too, so long as you allow it to have its full work. So it's kind of even like what you were saying, that perseverance in that place, in that in-between place, So yeah, so that's what I'm learning.
Good.
Yeah, it's good. Awesome. Well, spring favorite things. Thank you.
Favorite things. Okay, so this is random. I know we've probably gone over time, But since I'm now just like a guest every now and then,
Yeah.
I wanted to do something fun and do a giveaway.
Oh, great.
I'll do a giveaway, right?
Sure.
The snack girl. I don't remember her name. I'm sorry. Carrie?
Kara.
Kara. Okay. I'm sorry. She gave away snacks.
And it was fun. It was so fun.
Okay, so in this season that I've been in, like I'm still listening and loving all the podcasts. And so I wanted to share a little bit of things that I've been just an update of where I've been. So you talked about Lent. I did Lent this year. I've been participating. I got this book, 40 Days of Decrease. It was a good start if you've never done Lent or don't know anything about it. It's just super simple and totally walks you through everything. And it was very like educational too, just kind of about the whole history. Yeah. So anyway, that was fun. So I've been doing it with you.
Very good. I'm so glad.
So healthy snacks. I'm obsessed.
What are these?
This is an RX bar.
Okay.
Okay, it's like my healthy vegan neighbor or vegetarian neighbor introduced me to them. It's just like super simple ingredients. It's kind of like a protein bar, kind of, but like tastes good. So the chocolate sea salt and the blueberry are my favorites. Oh, so one in my giveaway.
They're going in the giveaway. Awesome.
And then also, I loved your talk with Mindy about mastering your soul. I think that is so good. And if I could have learned that about 10 years ago, it could have saved me a lot of heartache. But I got to thinking about a book that I think is one of the best things to help me pastor my soul. We talked about it, but it's called Emotionally Healthy Spirituality.
Yes.
But I mean, if you can see, it's like highlighted. I mean, I underlined stars, notes. I went to town on this book, but it really helped me kind of get my soul back into a place of health a little bit, and then just kind of gave me some practical things. So I want to give away in this cute little cactus bag.
Oh, awesome.
Some healthy snacks, emotionally healthy spirituality. You won't get my copy with the writing. You'll get another one that's unused. And this little cactus notebook.
Love it.
So I just found it's just like a composition book, but look at the cactus. Aren't they cute?
It's so cute.
So I wrote a blog not long ago that talked about cactus. So I'm kind of all about cactus right now. So how do you do the giveaway? I don't know how to do it.
I don't know. I need to think through it. She had a text thing, but I don't have that. I should figure that out. Let's do this. Let's say, no, I'm loving that. I'm loving the giveaway. And I love that you've still been watching and you're,
I listen all the time.
You're in it with us. So, why don't we do this? Like, if you're listening now and I know you want that cute cactus notebook and the emotionally healthy spirituality book. Oh my gosh, look at that. How adorable is that? Yeah. Let's do this. Why don't you, what do you want them to do, Les? You want them to do something on social media? To email me?
Sure. I don't know. You tell me. You're the guru.
I'm not. Let's do this. Why don't you, I will put a post up on Friday on Facebook and Instagram. Okay. And if you will go comment on that and like it, then we will get you, we'll draw your name. But you've got to put a comment too, so I know your name, okay? And like it, both. Okay? Yeah. Awesome.
That's fun. Okay, that works.
That's perfect. No, I'm loving it. I'm so glad this was fun.
I know, it was fun. This was good to be back.
I know. So you guys give Leslie lots of love. I'm glad that she was back with us, and she's going to be back every season. So we will do, next will be favorite things summer. So everyone can be waiting for that.
Thanks, Les. I'm so glad you joined me. It was a lot of fun, and I hope you guys loved her favorites. I know I'm definitely going to check a few of them out. Hey, I want to clarify about the giveaway. This post is going live on Wednesday, May 3rd, and so on Friday, May 5th, I'm going to put up a post on the In Between social media, both Instagram and Facebook, and every time you comment, like, or share it, you will be entered into a drawing for Leslie's awesome goodie bag that she is going to be sending your way. So be sure and do that. Also, if you want links on all of the favorites that we've talked about today, be sure and head over to the blog on the website, thein-between.com. All right. I hope you have a wonderful spring and that you find a few of your own favorites to brighten up this season. Until next time, have a wonderful time in your in-between, and we'll see you next week.